Romania, a mysterious land of contrasts, where ancient legends intertwine with modern reality. This astonishing country, hiding a multitude of secrets, remains unexplored by many of us. Imagine this: mystical Transylvania, whose true story of Count Dracula starkly contrasts with Hollywood's fabrications, shrouded in the mist of ancient beliefs and enigmatic tales. And did you know about the existence of an underground ice lake that is over 3,000 years old? This natural phenomenon holds within its depths the secrets of long-gone eras. Equally intriguing is the Hoia Forest, dubbed the Romanian Bermuda Triangle, where inexplicable phenomena occur, prompting even skeptics to ponder the existence of the paranormal. Today, we embark on a journey in the format of an iceberg. Starting with surface-level, well-known facts, we will gradually dive into the depths of astonishing revelations about Romania that you will never hear in ordinary tourist brochures. What secrets does this ancient land hold, where medieval villages coexist with modern metropolises, and the unique culture of the Roma people adds a distinct flavor to everyday life? Prepare to discover 15 amazing facts that will forever change your perception of this enigmatic country. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of Romania's mysterious places, for this ancient land conceals secrets within its depths that can astonish even the most seasoned seekers of the unusual. Fact 1. The crossroads of worlds, the enigmatic geography of this ancient land. In the very heart of Europe, at the mysterious intersection of Eastern and Central European cultures, lies a country of contrasts, whose geography seems tailor-made for the birth of mystical legends. The majestic Carpathian Mountains, whose peaks are often shrouded in dense fog that creates the illusion of detachment from the world, harbor caves with rock paintings that date back thousands of years. What messages were the ancient artists trying to convey to us? What secrets have they encoded in these enigmatic symbols? No less mysterious is the Danube Delta, a vast territory where the river meets the Black Sea, creating a unique ecosystem that some researchers describe as a living organism. Locals recount tales of strange lights appearing above the water on moonless nights and inexplicable sounds emanating from the depths of the marshes. Scientists attribute these phenomena to natural processes of organic decay. But can they confidently dismiss the existence of other, more mysterious causes? Bucharest, the capital of the country, known as the Little Paris of the East, hides beneath its elegant boulevards a network of underground tunnels, the origins and purposes of which continue to spark debate among historians. Some of these passages descend to such depths that modern explorers hesitate to venture into their dark recesses. What lies hidden in these ancient labyrinths? Secret temples? Forgotten treasures? Or something even more enigmatic that defies rational explanation? The geographical diversity of Romania, ranging from snow-capped mountain peaks to the sandy beaches of the Black Sea, from the dense forests of Transylvania to the endless plains of Wallachia, creates unique conditions for the emergence of phenomena that science has yet to fully explain. Fact 2. The Bloody Shadow of Transylvania. Where does history end and legend begin? Perhaps no Romanian mystery has gained such widespread recognition in global culture as the story of Count Dracula, whose sinister shadow still looms over the dark forests of Transylvania. But what lies behind this myth, so deeply entrenched in the collective consciousness? At the heart of the legend is a real historical figure, the Wallachian ruler of the 15th century, Vlad III, known by his fearsome epithet Tsepesh, or the Impaler. This ruthless leader became infamous for his incredible cruelty towards his enemies, impaling them on sharpened stakes by the thousands, creating a forest of the dead before his fortresses. Turkish chroniclers described how Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, retreated in horror upon witnessing a field of 20,000 bodies impaled on stakes. But was Vlad a true monster, or merely a merciless defender of his lands in a brutal age? Some Romanian historians regard him as a national hero, desperately fighting against Ottoman expansion. Others point to his pathological cruelty, which extended far beyond military necessity. The truth, as always, is lost in the mists of centuries. This historical figure gained particular notoriety through the novel by Irish writer Bram Stoker, who transformed the brutal voivode into an immortal vampire, drinking the blood of innocent victims. Interestingly, Stoker himself never visited Transylvania, creating the image of Count Dracula based solely on books and travelers' tales. Today, thousands of tourists flock annually to the majestic Bran Castle, located on the border of Transylvania and Wallachia, which travel agencies promote as Dracula's castle. However, historians assert that the connection of this fortress to the real Vlad Tepes is minimal, if it exists at all. He may have stopped here only a few times while passing through these lands. But can historical truth compete with an enthralling legend? And as night falls over the Carpathian Mountains and thick fog envelops the ancient forests, who can say with certainty that they will not encounter a pale figure in a black cloak on the winding mountain road? Fact 3. The sacred mysteries of Romania. How has the Orthodox faith maintained its strength in the face of all trials? Yet it is not only the grim legends of vampires and bloodthirsty rulers that define the spiritual landscape of this enigmatic country. In the shadows of the majestic Carpathians lies another, equally astonishing mystery. How has Romania's Orthodox tradition managed to preserve its mystical power, surviving centuries of foreign invasions, political upheavals, and even decades of militant atheism? A traveller who finds themselves in northern Bucovina will be enchanted by the ethereal beauty of the monasteries, whose walls are adorned with stunning frescoes from the 15th and 16th centuries. The Voronets, Sucevița, Moldovița, and Huma monasteries, listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, astonish with their exterior paintings, which have retained their vibrancy despite the relentless effects of time and weather. How could these colours remain so vivid after 5 centuries exposed to the elements? Some researchers speak of secret paint recipes that included mineral pigments, egg yolk, and mysterious additives, the composition of which the icon painting monks kept under strictest secrecy. Others see in this phenomenon something more than just the craftsmanship of ancient artists. Particularly enigmatic is the famous Voronets blue, the richness and depth of which have no parallels in medieval painting. How did these simple monks create a pigment that modern chemists, with their laboratories and technologies, cannot precisely reproduce? Remarkably, even during the era of communist rule, when the Ceausescu regime sought to eradicate religious superstitions, faith continued to live secretly in the hearts of Romanians. There are known instances where locals, risking their freedom, worked at night to restore destroyed chapels and save ancient icons from destruction. Today, over 80% of Romania's population identifies as Orthodox Christians, making this country one of the most religious in Europe. In Romanian villages, ancient rituals can still be found, where Christian traditions intertwine with pagan beliefs from the pre-Christian era. Local elders tell tales of mountain hermits who have lived in secluded caves for decades, subsisting only on the gifts of the forest and possessing the gifts of healing and prophecy. Is this truth or fiction? Can such a profound faith, characteristic of the Middle Ages, be preserved in the 21st century? Perhaps this is the main mystery of Romania: its astonishing ability to maintain ancient traditions in a rapidly changing world, where spirituality often yields to material values. Fact 4. The linguistic phenomenon of the Carpathians. How did the Latin language survive in a Slavic environment? Perhaps the most astonishing mystery of Romania is not its grim legends or religious secrets, but the very language spoken by its inhabitants. Imagine this. In the heart of Eastern Europe, surrounded by Slavic peoples, there exists a country whose language has more in common with Italian, Spanish, and French than with the languages of its neighbouring states. How is it that the Romanian language has preserved its Romance essence despite millennia of influence from entirely different linguistic traditions? This phenomenon baffles even seasoned linguists. A traveller visiting Romania for the first time would be struck by the speech that distinctly echoes the language of ancient Romans. Approximately 60% of the modern Romanian vocabulary has Latin roots. Listen closely to simple phrases: bună ziua, good day, mulțumesc, thank you, apa, water. Each carries clear traces of Latin origins. Some scholars argue that the Romanian language is even more conservative in retaining Latin elements than Italian. How can we explain this linguistic paradox? According to the most widely accepted theory, modern Romanians are descendants of Romanized Dacians and Roman colonists who settled in the territory of the province of Dacia, following its conquest by Emperor Trajan in the 2nd century AD. However, the Roman presence in Dacia lasted less than 2 centuries. By 271 AD, Emperor Aurelian withdrew the legions and administration due to increasing pressure from barbarian tribes. How then did the Latin language not only survive, but also become the foundation of national identity in a territory that had been under the influence of Slavic, Hungarian, and Turkish conquerors for centuries? Some researchers suggest that the Romance-speaking population may have preserved its linguistic distinctiveness by taking refuge in the inaccessible mountainous regions of the Carpathians. Others point to the remarkable resilience of the Latin foundation of the language, which, like a sturdy foundation, withstood all attempts at its destruction. The Romanian language also possesses a mysterious substrate, about 150 words that have no equivalents in other Romance languages and are thought to be inherited from the Dacian language, of which contemporary science knows very little. Is this merely a coincidence of historical circumstances, or does it indicate some deep irregularity in the development of human civilizations? Fact 5. The Transfiguration, a road between worlds built on the bones of labourers. But it's not only the language of Romania that holds its secrets. In the very heart of the Carpathian Mountains lies a path that locals call the Road to the Heavens, or the Devil's Path. The Transfiguration is not just a mountain highway. It is 90 kilometres of winding serpentines cutting through the most inaccessible peaks of the southern Carpathians. Imagine this: a narrow ribbon of asphalt climbing to heights of over 2,000 metres, with countless sharp turns, looming cliffs and dizzying drops. Each curve of this road seems to unveil a glimpse into another world. Misty valleys below, jagged mountain peaks surrounding you, and a sky that seems so close you could almost touch it. Yet behind this surreal beauty lies a dark history. The Transfiguration was constructed between 1970 and 1974 on the personal orders of the communist dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. The official version states that the road was built as a strategic military route in case of a Soviet invasion. But why was it necessary to carve a path through the most impenetrable section of the Carpathians when simpler routes existed? Some historians argue that it was an act of sheer vanity, a project intended to showcase the power of the socialist regime and its ability to dominate even nature itself. The most sinister aspects of the history of the Transfiguration are linked to its construction. Estimates suggest that between 40 and several hundred workers lost their lives during the road's development. To clear the way, engineers used over 6,000 tons of dynamite to literally blast through the mountains. Soldiers and political prisoners worked under extreme conditions, often without proper equipment and safety measures. Locals recount that on particularly foggy days, strange sounds can be heard in certain parts of the road. Echoes of past explosions or the moans of fallen workers, whose souls, it is said, remain forever trapped in the stone. Can we regard this engineering marvel, which attracts tourists from around the world today, as merely a picturesque road? Or is it a monument to human stubbornness and cruelty, embodied in asphalt and concrete? Fact 6. Romanian cuisine. Ancient recipes guarding the secrets of disappeared civilizations. As the winding serpentine roads of Transfigurash lead us into the mountain heights, another path, equally mysterious, leads to an understanding of the soul of the Romanian people. The journey of discovering national cuisine. Romanian gastronomy is not merely a collection of recipes. It is an encrypted message from our ancestors, preserved through centuries of political upheaval and cultural transformations. In every dish, one can sense the genetic code of the nation, infused with influences from the ancient Dacians, Roman legionaries, Ottoman conquerors, Hungarian neighbours, and Slavic tribes. Take, for example, marmoliga. This simple cornmeal porridge, which has replaced bread for centuries, has roots that reach deep into the pre-Roman period. Archaeologists find vessels for preparing such dishes at sites dating back to the 3rd millennium BC. How could such a primitive dish remain virtually unchanged over 5,000 years, surviving dozens of empires and states? Sarmale, cabbage rolls wrapped in grape leaves and filled with meat, rice and spices, are more than just food. They are a ritual connecting Romanians to their Ottoman past. Local culinary historians assert that the special method of wrapping the filling and the combination of spices harbour elements of ancient mystical practices when cooking was a form of communication with higher powers. Mici, these small skinless sausages grilled using a blend of more than 10 spices, spark debates among culinary historians. Some see them as a legacy of Turkish rule. Others insist on a Balkan origin, while some point to similarities with dishes of nomadic peoples who once inhabited the Carpathian Basin. Yet, no one can explain why the exact recipe of spices for authentic mici remains a secret, passed down from generation to generation in the families of master butchers. Is this not evidence of the existence of ancient gastronomic guilds, whose knowledge was too valuable to be entrusted to paper? In every region of Romania, There are unique dishes whose names and methods of preparation have remained virtually unchanged over the centuries, despite all attempts at standardization and globalization. How has this culinary mosaic survived in the era of fast food and international restaurant chains? Perhaps these recipes encode something more than mere instructions for cooking. Maybe they are a means of preserving cultural identity, more reliable than any written chronicle. Fact 7. The mysterious Palace of the Parliament, a symbol of ambition and destruction. In the heart of Bucharest rises the Palace of the Parliament, a majestic yet simultaneously sinister structure, the second largest administrative building in the world after the Pentagon. This megalomaniacal project, conceived by Nicolae Ceausescu, epitomizes his grand ambitions and profound contradictions. To erect this monument to power, an entire historical district of the city was demolished, erasing countless houses, churches, and cultural landmarks from the face of the earth. Thousands of people were forced to abandon their homes, and the construction process turned into a genuine catastrophe for the local economy and social structure. The palace, which covers an area of over 170,000 square meters, is built from more than 140,000 tons of marble, 30,000 tons of bronze, and over 7 million square meters of wood. These massive dimensions evoke both terror and admiration. The interior halls, adorned with luxurious finishes and opulent chandeliers, can astonish even the most seasoned tourists. Yet, despite this, the grandeur of the building is shrouded in mystery. Why was such a grand structure built, which remains only partially utilized to this day? How could Ceausescu's dream simultaneously become a symbol of his power and a monument to madness? Many rooms remain empty, and corridors seemingly lead nowhere, creating an atmosphere of abandonment and unfulfillment. But that is not all the enigmas. Hidden within the depths of the building are secret bunkers and underground passages, about which rumors circulate among locals and historians. What else might this monument, constructed on the bones of thousands of Romanians, conceal? Perhaps within its walls lie not only ambitions and pride, but also the shadows of tragedies yet unknown to us. What is the fate of this grand project, which has become a legacy not only for the country, but for all of humanity? This mystery remains open, like many other secrets hidden within the depths of Romania's history. Fact 8. The mysterious Roma Gypsies, a culture full of secrets and contradictions. In the heart of Romania, among picturesque landscapes and ancient castles, resides one of the most enigmatic ethnic groups, the Roma Gypsies. Their culture, rich in vibrant traditions and unique customs, remains elusive to the majority, creating an atmosphere of mystery and allure. The haunting music that wafts from their villages is imbued with passion and emotion, seemingly telling tales of love, loss, and hope. These melodies, interwoven with the rhythms of life, reflect a rich history filled with trials and triumphs. But what lies behind this music? How have the Roma managed to preserve their traditions through the centuries, despite persecution and discrimination? Their attire, bright and extravagant, captivates the imagination. Multi-layered skirts adorned with sequins and jewelry that sparkles in the sun not only highlight their individuality, but also serve as symbols of their culture. Wedding rituals, laden with rites and dances, mesmerize with their beauty and depth. Each element of the celebration immerses one in a world of ancient beliefs and customs passed down through generations. However, what is the true role of the Roma in contemporary Romanian society? They often face bias and misunderstanding, leading to complex and tangled relationships with the majority population. But who are they really? What secrets lie hidden in their past, and how do these reflect on their future? Despite their aspirations for integration, many continue to live by their own laws. Perhaps it is this duality that creates the aura of mystery surrounding the Roma. What will become of their fate in a world that so often rejects their uniqueness? This enigma remains unsolved, much like many other questions regarding the interactions of cultures and ethnic groups. Fact 9. The Merry Cemetery, a grim joke or joy in eternal rest. In the heart of Romania, in the small village of Săpânța, lies a unique place known as the Merry Cemetery. This is not just a cemetery, it is a true gallery of art, where graves are adorned with vibrant crosses featuring naive paintings and humorous epitaphs. Each tombstone here is not merely a marker of memory, but a distinctive story of life, brimming with humor and optimism. How did it come to be that such an unusual tradition was born in this picturesque landscape? His work, these are perhaps here many to it gives, however, the mystery. This mind, how could, as you just, the air, but what, perhaps it is because Turda offers not only the beauty of its subterranean halls, but also the chance to experience the remarkable effects of nature that our ancestors utilized for centuries. Here, among the sparkling salt formations, your imagination can transport you back to a distant past when Roman miners toiled in these depths, extracting precious resources for their empire. Yet this is not the only mystery that Turda Salt Mine conceals. How were such extensive transformations into modern attractions achieved while preserving the spirit of history? And what other discoveries might await within these dark, enigmatic corridors that have long hidden their secrets from human eyes? The answers remain elusive, as do many other enigmas surrounding our history. Fact 12. The living flames of Romania. The mystery of the eternal fire. On the slopes of the Buzău Mountains, in the very heart of Romania, lies a remarkable natural phenomenon known as the living flames. These mystical lights, which burn eternally on the surface of the earth, are the result of the spontaneous ignition of natural gas that erupts from deep within the ground. How is this possible? Why here, among the green hills, do the flames continue to burn, as if they were living beings, governed only by their own rhythm? Local inhabitants, who have observed this astonishing phenomenon for centuries, associate it with ancient myths and legends about the gods of the underworld. They believe that these flames are a sign sent by the gods, protecting the local lands from evil and misfortune. Surrounding this phenomenon are numerous myths, and many claim that if one looks closely, they can see the flames dancing in the night, as if beckoning those brave enough to approach. But how exactly did these flames come to be? This phenomenon is observed in only a few places on the planet, and the Romanian living flames are considered among the most impressive. How could such unique conditions lead to a perpetual blaze without any visible source? Some scientists suggest that it is related to the particular composition of the soil and the nature of geological processes in this area. Yet, despite extensive research, many aspects remain unresolved. What impact have these flames had on the culture and beliefs of the local people? How do they perceive this natural wonder in the modern world? The answers to these questions are still awaiting their explorers, leaving us with a sense of mystery and awe. In this place where nature and mythology intertwine, the living flames continue to burn, like guardians of ancient secrets, waiting for those who dare to unravel their enigma. And perhaps similar phenomena exist in other corners of the world, hiding their secrets from the human eye. Fact 13. The forgotten glory of Romanian inventors, secrets that changed the world. For centuries, Romania has been home to numerous talented minds who, without receiving the recognition they deserved, left their mark on the history of science and technology. One such genius is Traian Voia, who in the early 20th century created the first jet aircraft, anticipating many inventions that would come later. How could this Romanian engineer, working under conditions of limited resources and support, create a machine that could transform the concept of aviation? Voia utilized his knowledge of aerodynamics and mechanics to develop a design that allowed his aircraft to soar into the sky long before the famous jet models emerged. Yet his achievements remained in the shadows, and many still remain unaware of his contribution to aviation. Next, it is worth mentioning Nicolae Paulescu, who discovered insulin, saving the lives of millions suffering from diabetes. His work, completed in the early 20th century, was unfortunately unjustly forgotten, with many attributing this discovery to other scientists. How could this happen? What mechanism caused the world to overlook his merits in such a significant medical breakthrough? Finally, we cannot forget Petrucu Poenaru, the inventor who created the first fountain pen, thereby changing the approach to writing. This simple yet ingenious tool became a symbol of creativity and inspiration for many generations. How is it that such important achievements as those of Voia, Paulescu, and Poenaru remain in obscurity while the world seeks recognition and respect for its heroes? These questions linger, leaving us with a sense of wonder and perplexity. Perhaps such mysteries about the forgotten heroes of science await their moment to be rediscovered and acknowledged. How many more secrets does history hold? And how many inventions remain unknown, knowing that each of them could have been a building block in the foundation of our progress? Fact 13. The mystery of the Scarășoara Cave, an ancient glacier guarding the secrets of climates. At an altitude of over 1,000 meters above sea level, in the heart of the Romanian Carpathians, lies the mysterious Scarășoara Cave, which conceals within its depths one of the oldest glaciers on the planet. This glacier, aged over 3,000 years, is not merely a chunk of frozen water. It is a true archive of climatic history containing crucial information about the weather conditions that prevailed on Earth over many millennia. How has this glacier managed to remain in such pristine condition while centuries and epochs have unfolded around it? The temperature inside the cave never rises above 0 degrees, even in the hottest summer months, creating stunning ice formations that captivate the imagination. Unique ice stalactites and stalagmites, curved and peculiar, seem frozen in a dance of time, prompting us to ponder. What stories could they tell if they could speak? Research shows that glaciers like Scarășoara can hold evidence of climatic changes that have occurred on Earth. Each layer of ice is a page from the history of our planet, capturing atmospheric conditions, gas compositions, and even dust from volcanic eruptions. But what exactly does this icy archive conceal, and how can it help us understand the future? Some scientists suggest that studying the data from the cave may provide the key to predicting climate changes, while others are convinced that these ice layers contain even more mysterious information about ancient civilizations that once inhabited these lands. Yet this is not the only mystery that beckons researchers. From glaciers, we transition to other enigmatic phenomena that may influence our understanding of history and nature. How many more secrets remain unsolved in the depths of our planet, waiting for their moment to be uncovered and explored? The Scarășoara Cave is just one of many enigmas that may hold answers to questions we have yet to even contemplate. Ultimately, each step along this path opens new horizons and leaves us with the feeling that we are merely scratching the surface of an immense treasure trove of ancient knowledge and mysteries awaiting discovery. Fact 14. The grim legacy of the Pitești experiment. Dark pages of history. In the shadow of the Romanian Carpathians, in the small town of Pitești, lies one of the darkest chapters in the history of communist regimes. From 1949 to 1951, a brutal experiment known as the re-education of political prisoners was conducted here. This program was designed as a means to break the will of individuals who dared to oppose the regime, and its methods are shocking in their inhumanity. Prisoners were pushed to their psychological limits, forced to torture one another, resulting in horrific consequences for their physical and mental well-being. How could one descend to such levels of cruelty, allowing a person to become the executioner of their own comrade? Through the walls of prison cells echoed cries filled with fear and despair, and the brutal methods of re-education became a true tragedy for those caught in this hell. Detainees were subjected to humiliation, torture, and psychological pressure to crush their spirits. But what does this say about human nature when placed in such conditions? Researchers examining this chapter of history note that such experiments not only destroyed lives, but also left a deep mark on the culture and memory of the people. Despite the time that has passed since those horrific events, little is said about these facts, even in Romania itself. Is there a lingering fear of past shadows that prevents society from openly discussing such grim moments? Yet this is not the only mystery where the past and present intertwine. From the grim legacy of Pitești, we can transition to other dark pages of history that may open our eyes to the nature of power and its influence on human fate. How many more secrets does our history hold, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of people and raising questions to which we may never find answers? Each new fact, each new discovery is a step toward understanding that even in the darkest times, human resilience can manifest in the most unexpected forms. Fact 15. The enigma of the Călășari ritual, a dance capable of expelling evil? In the heart of Romania, amidst mountains and forests, lies an ancient rite shrouded in mystery and magic. The Călășari. This unique male dance ritual, recently added to UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage, has its roots in traditions that stretch back through the ages. But what makes this ritual so enigmatic and alluring? According to legends, Călășari serves not only for celebration, but also for healing illnesses, expelling evil spirits, and restoring harmony within the community. Dancers, clad in vibrant costumes, enter a trance, adhering to strict rules and the rhythm of the music, creating an atmosphere filled with enchantment and mystery. How do they achieve such a state, where the body ceases to obey the mind, and the spirit hovers on the threshold between the world of the living and the world of the dead? The ritual incorporates special herbs known for their healing properties, and despite all of science's advancements, many aspects of this ceremony remain unexplained. How exactly do these herbs affect the human body and consciousness? Researchers and anthropologists delving into the study of Kalashari confront questions that still lack precise answers, which only adds to the ritual's aura of mystery. Some assert that this is not merely a dance, but a profound means of connecting with ancestors and the spirits of nature. How much more is hidden within this ancient art, which, despite its uniqueness, remains a puzzle for the modern world? The mystical elements intertwined with reality compel us to ponder how many undeservedly forgotten traditions may exist in other corners of the globe, waiting for their moment to resurface and reveal their secrets. Could it be that Kalashari is just the tip of the iceberg, concealing a multitude of unsolved enigmas? Romania is a country full of mysteries and enigmas, and as we have just seen, its true diversity is far removed from the familiar stereotypes of vampires and dictators. For a mature audience, especially for those who remember the times of the socialist bloc, Romania might have been associated with poverty and hardship, but today we reveal it from a completely new perspective. The mountains, forests, ancient traditions, and rituals such as Kalashari are just a small glimpse of what this remarkable country has to offer. How is it that behind these well-known images lies such a rich cultural tapestry? Even the most unusual facts we discussed in this video are only a tiny fragment in the mosaic of Romanian history and culture. The true journey into any culture is not only about studying facts, but also about the personal experiences each of us can gain. Have you ever been to Romania? What surprised or intrigued you the most from the facts presented? Or perhaps you know something interesting that we didn't mention? Share your impressions in the comments, as your insights can enrich our collective experience. And remember, this is just the beginning as we are preparing new episodes from the Icebergs series, where we will explore other little-known yet astonishing countries full of mysteries. What else does the world hide beyond the usual tourist routes?